are going. You've been here before, Brony.
I've never seen anything like that. I don't think anyone else has ever seen anything like that.
So that's the same place, right?
Yep. This is so that ski patroller is touching the shivs on that tower right there.
All right.
You got this.
Lumberjack Daniel, that one's yours.
Here's my window. I can get a little bit of sunlight because it's, if you look up, there's a little view, but.
So we just drove by and I saw this ladder and an address up on the tree. There's a house back there, and that's apparently how whoever owns this car gets to their house. So I'm going to climb a ladder to get on top of the snow to try knock on the door and see what's going on over there, whatever's over there.
This year is already a top 3 snowiest year on record in the Sierra, with a legitimate chance of breaking 67 feet, set in 1952. So I went out to hear from residents how they've adapted to live in over 55 feet of snow and counting, climbing this ladder to make my way on top of the snow into this 1930s snowbound chalet hidden in Soda Springs.
What is this lifestyle like? Like, what's the hacks that you use to make this work? I see the ladder, you do the trench.
Well, the ladder is only when it's really bad. If it's not as deep, we try and notch steps into it. The challenge is getting all of our gear and supplies in. We kind of plan our meals lightweight, things we just add water to. And we're not carrying up big jugs of whatever, and pack lightly. Plan on wearing the same clothes for several days, and it's once you get a path in, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And things like the dog.
Getting the dog.
I had to carry the dog up the ladder, so I'm glad my dog's not any bigger.
The previous real season snow record in recent memory was 41 years ago. Ironically, Alan Cobb's first year coming to this cabin.
Is this something that you're like, oh yeah, this reminds me of, or is this something totally new?
That's your first year up here.
First, that was what,
82.
82, yeah. I came in not knowing what to expect, and we had similar situation to this. We had to use a ladder to get up and climb in. It's like,
That's where the beer was.
Yeah, the snow wall of snow out there was the beer wall. Just pop the bottles in there. And
go skiing, come home, get a beer in the cabin.
Yeah.
Who needs a fridge when you have a wall of snow?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
this is second story.
This is second story. And it's level with the railing, pretty much. This pipe on that tree, that's our fuel tanks under there.
So some have certainly seen it like this before, but never with our modern cameras and drones to document what this all looks like.
We're kind of grateful to have this kind of year, because the whole region needs it, obviously. Yeah. This is all going to melt and fill our reservoirs over the summer. So obviously we need that pretty desperately. But hopefully we have more like this, but maybe not quite this extreme.
Yeah.
Grateful, but even after a summer filled with smoke and fires to go along with the drought, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Yeah, that's...
And you're not sick of it?
No, we haven't been up here enough. I'm not living it. My girlfriend who lives in Druggy, she's tired of it. Yeah.
But coming to visit's okay?
Yeah, coming to visit's great.
Meet our herd. Hi. And the one that's walking towards us is Lulu. She's kind of the queen bee. Definitely the protector. She's chased off bears. She's been in a fight with a mountain lion. She's pulled the gates down, and yeah, she's a tough one. For us, it's too much of a good thing. I work a full-time job, and but the snow removal has become literally a second full-time job, and so it's been stressful. I think everybody I know around here that lives here full-time has had kind of breaking points, crying, yelling, wondering why we live here. Hey, this is gonna be way better.
It reached a breaking point with the latest round of atmospheric river storms and snow in early March that forced Gia to make a move with her herd to a smaller but safer pen.
Good boys. Yeah. You'll like where you're going. You've been here before, Brownie. You've been here before, bud.
Yeah, halter off. I'll take Morgan's.
I didn't take Lulu's off either.
I'll grab Lulu.
Nice job, that was smooth.
Good girl.
Alright. Now let me spread some of the hay around.
So you can imagine the challenges dealing with these guys when the snow's way above even their heads.
We've been digging like pathways for them. They had icicles all over them. I can show you some pictures. It's been a hard winter for them, but they're donkeys, so they're really robust. You know, we checked on them every day, multiple times a day, to make sure that they were staying warm enough. So you could see that even though they had icicles everywhere, that they were still warm. You know, the innermost part of their coat was still dry, believe it or not. And one of the cool things about donkeys compared to horses is they're such tough, robust animals, and I think that that's probably why they get overlooked a lot of the time. But they're survivors. That's part of their nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that was also part of what I had to just keep believing in, which is like, okay, they do harsh environments. So, you know, really having to believe in their ability to survive.
She just nodded her head.
She was like, yes. This is where we keep the hay and the meadow grass. And yeah, we're down to less than 2 bales right now.
But even donkeys can't survive on just snow, and it's been basically impossible for weeks to take the truck and trailer down the mountain to buy more hay.
You know, they think it's fun. I think the younger kids, you know, jumping off of roofs and driving the tractor, but I find it stressful. You know, that's a scary sight to me, just seeing that there's, we're low on food. And so we haven't been able to get down the hill for the last couple of weeks because we drive the trailer down there, and fear of getting stuck on 80, the interstate, has been a real thing. So I've got to find a break in the weather to get down and get them, you know, more hay, because we don't know obviously what March is going to hold. And you can see, I mean, they walked back, they eventually walked back and forth.
And how many feet has this gone down since the rain?
This area, because of the wind, was probably, gosh, I don't know, like it's probably gone down 2 feet. That was one of the beams that cracked. So I spent last weekend with my friend with a big giant saw, like a manual saw, not an electric saw, cutting out cubes of snow and ice and tossing them over.
That's a piece of history.
Well, it's actually, this is one of the old logging saws from here too. It was up on my house, and I think the house purchased in the 50s, and it'd be great for removing the snow from this damn roof right here.
This is a big one. That's a big one. Are you sure? All right.
You got this.
Lumberjack Daniel, that one's yours.
Lumberjack girlfriend, you got this.
It's kind of crooked. Just to, again, the fear is that things are going to collapse, and we don't want to lose an animal. So we've had several leaks in the house. We had to get some workers over here a handful of times to address the ice dams. So yeah, like leaks in the house, The person that rents above the garage had a huge leak inside and leak, into the walls of the house, which is concerning. And the pig as well. The pig doesn't like the snow, obviously. He doesn't like the cold. So constant laps through the house chasing him and trying to get him to go outside and just get some fresh air. Hates the snow. But he's funny. If it's packed down enough, he'll go walking from here to the back gate. And I put a sweater on him most days.
You see, for all the added stress each foot of snow is added to caring for the animals, they're also one of the last things keeping many sane. I mean, how can it not help to see joy like this?
If you just highlight, one of the fun things you did during the day, you can put all the focus on that, and then you don't worry about your ceiling caving in or the potential for your ceiling caving in or getting stranded somewhere. Yeah, just focus on one good thing a day.
Do you feel that stress on a regular basis with just those things just in the back of your mind? Maybe not necessarily where it's really weighing you down, but it's kind of
oh yeah, it's there. And then when you look at the weather forecast and it's snow and rain every day for the next 2 weeks, yeah, it can be overwhelming.
By sharing videos on social media, Janelle Potvin says it's helped her to focus on the fun by sharing the story with strangers.
And yeah, we're just trying to make the most of it, and the dogs love it. And I don't know, I was off social media for over a year, and when I got back on and I saw that people enjoyed seeing the dogs playing, I just kind of went for it.
So someone inevitably is going to be commenting about climate change or how this has happened before. Yes, there has always been extreme snow in the Sierra. Some of the first pioneers figured that out the hard way.
When we come to the Sierra to cover the extreme snowfall, we come right here to Donner Pass. And yes, that has to do with the Donner Party. This is where those unfortunate pioneers were stranded because of extreme snowfall, just up from Donner Lake at where I'm standing. Now, this statue has a lot of symbolism in remembrance of the Donner Party itself. It sits around 20 feet high. And what makes that so symbolic, that's around the height of the snow that this party was stranded in and later resorted to cannibalism. How do they know how high that snow was? Because it's before recorded history. Well, it's kind of sad in its own right. That's the height at which the trees were hacked for firewood. So as the snow melted after the Donner Party was rescued, right at about 15 to 20 feet is where those trees were sawed off at for firewood. And so that's how we know how much snow had stranded these wayward travelers. It was an early winter, a lot of snow following in the fall and early winter, and that was just too much for these pioneers. Just like today, the repeated atmospheric river events, too much for the travelers on nearby I-80 as that interstate gets shut down and people get stranded and stuck in their homes and can't make it up to the beautiful ski resorts nearby. There's a long history of extreme snowfall here in the Sierra.
As I said earlier, no doubt the Sierra has seen snow like this before, but it goes viral with the video and pictures viewed millions of times because this kind of snow just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I don't think anyone else has ever seen anything like that in their time here, and we've had some people here for a long time.
It's sort of easy right now to lose perspective at exactly just how much snow there is here. But that's why they have a picture from the summertime. So that's the same place, right?
Yep. This is so that ski patroller is touching the shivs on that tower right there.
Do you know how many inches you've had so far?
We're over 620 inches so far for the season.
On average, what do you guys do?
On average, we're about 300. Yeah, so we're doubling our average right now, and it's a huge job to deal with, but it's totally exciting.
If you guys like these stories and this kind of content, please subscribe, like, and share. Be a part of this community. Thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan Petramala.